Hello everyone, welcome back to Black Heaven, a necromantic dating sim. Let's go ahead and continue. That night, you went to Rue's office for your usual tutoring session. After you finished working through the material, you leaned it back in the fabric sack inside. Rue, I have a favor to ask. Rue looks back at you while raising her chalkboard.
What is it?
If I asked you to dull my nerves, could you selectively dull the ones dealing with pain?
Well, yes, that'd be relatively straightforward. What are you going to use it for?
Debate telling you a convincing lie. But you decide that you can trust Rue to keep this a secret. I'm going to fight someone. There's a guy named Tenza who... he challenged me to a duel. Rue's face is suddenly awash in panic.
With swords?
No, just fists. This Friday. Rue turns around and leans against the wall.
What's at stake? Are you competing for something?
No, just... I beat him once in a sparring match and he wants a rematch. He says if I don't show up, he'll tell people I'm a coward and a fraud.
Fraud? What are you being fraudulent about?
I don't know. Belonging here? Everyone else comes from wealth. I don't. Everyone earned their place here, but You trail off. Didn't exactly get into it town according to the rules.
But you've proven you belong here. You passed the first semester. You're a research fellow.
I know! But everyone else still treats me like I'm an oddity or something. Like, yeah, I've gotten this far. But I'm still not...
What?
It's like you told me about the other faculty here. They always look down on you, even though you've done good work. I don't want that weight on me for the next 5, 10, 20 years while I'm finishing my studies here. I'd rather just do this and prove that I am a match for people like him. Rue is silent for a while. You see her fiddling with her piece of chalk and looking at the floor.
If you want to dull your nerves, it's possible. That means dulling almost all sense of, sensation. You could selectively dull just pain, but that's delicate. The one person who could ensure that's working would be you, and you'd have to make the adjustments yourself.
Rue's voice dwindles to whisper.
It's actually a pretty difficult thing to do.
You stand up and brush off your pants, staring at the floor. You suspect that Rue might be exaggerating how difficult it is to dull pain, but you can't force her to help you. Alright, thanks anyway.
What are you going to do?
I don't know yet. You gather up your books and notes, then walk out of her office and close the door behind you. On Thursday, you go and see Izaki. Of all people, you think she would understand. You sit in her desk chair while she sits on the edge of her bed. Listen to you tell her about the letter. So I think to myself, I'm not afraid of him. I know I can beat him. Why not go? You sparred with me enough to know that I can handle most stuff, right? Izagi stares at the floor for a few seconds. Then, lies back on her bed, her hands behind her head.
You sound just like me.
And you kick ass, so That's a good thing, right?
No.
What? What do you mean?
The old me would have told you to fight him. I would have even helped you prepare. I've seen where all that leads. The people who are truly strong don't need to fight. Weak people fight because they have to prove they're not weak, and they're either trying to prove it to everyone else, or to themselves.
Izagi, I know I'm strong or intelligent or whatever. But if I say what you just said to people, they're gonna say I'm making up excuses.
Who cares? They don't understand. Those people are ignorant and narrow-minded, so why do you care what they think?
But I have to go to school with all these people. They're always making fun of me. Am I just supposed to put up with it? Am I supposed to spend my whole life just letting idiots laugh at me and tell me I'm trash? Izagi sits up and props herself up on her bed with her palms.
It took me a while to realize this, but it doesn't matter what the world thinks of you. Classmates, parents, instructors. As long as you can live with yourself, it's enough.
You scoff and drag the palm down your face. Yeah, that may be good for sages and martial artists on mountaintops, or trying to pursue enlightenment or mastery or whatever. But it's more complicated than that.
Uzo.
You look up at Izagi.
Please don't fight him. Just find him tomorrow and tell him no.
You look out the window and gather up your coat and scarf. I'll think about it. You walk back to your dorm that night seething. He's gonna say no. God, my entire life just gets spit on no matter what I do, no matter what I say. When you got out of the workhouses in Senkaku and tried working on the street, the other hustlers and gangs had looked down on you. They tried to go straight and took the job as a scribe. The administrators had mocked how childish your script was. When you became a scholar, older scholars had talked over you and scoffed at your naivete. Now, here at Itzan, they're still mocking you, calling you trash. Can't take that. Not forever. The moment you get back to your room, pull off your winter clothes and slam the wall with the butt of your fist. I'm not gonna take it. That Friday, you get back from dinner and dump your books on your bed. Find your martial arts training outfit and wrap your knuckles in linen. Spend about an hour going through your kata and shadow boxing in your mirror, then check the time. It's all past 10 o'clock. Lay down on your bed and think about how you want to handle the fight. Do you want to be cautious and feel Ten's out first? Or try to psych him out by being relentlessly aggressive? In your mind, you go through all these contingencies, all the branching paths a fight could take, like a game of Seeker. You try to figure out your openings. You don't know what Tenzo will try to do. You expect he'll come out of the gate with swing. His pride is on the line, and they would just want to win. They want to dominate. That's what he wants. To control me and everyone around him. Wants to lord over everyone else. So I have to use that against him. You look at the clock again. It's almost 11 o'clock. You decide to take a jog around campus to get your blood pumping and clear your head. Out on campus, it's dead quiet. You run toward the river and along the bank, half hoping to see Izagi. No one's there. You run back toward the darkened dojo and run around the perimeter. Through one of the windows, you can see a faint light. The candle's burning. he's already in there. You walk to the front entrance and push on the door. It swings open slowly and hear voices. Shut up, I think that's him. You walk inside and close the door behind you. Gathered in the center of the dojo are Tenza and two other guys. Tenza is kneeling on the floor, but he rises when you come closer. Grins at you, then at his two friends. Looks like I just won some money. They didn't think you'd come. You roll your shoulders and flex your fingers. Finally learned to stop betting against me, huh? Tenza's face hardens. You want to make a bet right now? If you want. Tenza walks up to you and jabs a finger in your chest. You immediately grab his hand, but he doesn't seem fazed. I bet by the end of this, I'm gonna have my hands around your throat, and you're gonna be begging me for mercy. You stare into his eyes and try to look stoic. Would you wager? Make it a big number, to make it interesting. I could drown your feeble ass in gold if I wanted. And drown me. There's a worse way to go. Want to say 200? Tenza chuckles and shakes his head. He looks at you piteously, then scoffs. Yeah, sure, whatever. Sure, if you win, you get 200. If I win... Spin Lisa's whore mouth next time you see her. Tell her I said hello. You give a breathy laugh and try to keep yourself from swinging. Your body tenses and your grip on Tenza's hand tightens. Oh, you're getting pissed off? Kind of talking me into it. Go in my hand and we can get started. Look down at Tenza's sweaty hand and let go. Look past him at his two friends. I don't know you were bringing backup, but this is just between you and me. These are my seconds. It's customary in a duel that witnesses, when I tell people what happened, they'll confirm all the little details. Team up on me if I beat you. Nah, won't be necessary. You have my word that it's just you and me. Alright. So let's do it. Ready when you are. You slip into your stance. Your back leg is slightly bent and your other leg is held in front of you so that you're perched on the ball of your foot. You raise both hands, but don't clasp them in fists. Keep your fingers together and pointing outward, while your thumb is tucked into your palm. Tenza cracks his neck and spreads his legs wide, sinking into a deep stance that makes it look like he's riding a horse. He raises his clenched fists and flexes his shoulders. There's about 10 feet between you and Tenza, and the flickering candle gives you just enough light to see him clearly. Not going anywhere. He's just hunkering down and waiting for me to come to him. So the first move is mine. You take 2, 3, then 4 steps toward him, so you're just outside his striking range. Your eyes relax and take in all of him at once. Just like the last time we fought in the martial arts classes, Tenza is stiff. His whole body seems tense. It's obvious that he's not going to move quickly. All his strength comes from his stance. It's so deep that it's rooted him to the floor. You'd sidestep a couple times and watch him adjust himself. He lifts one foot, plants it, then lifts the other so he's facing you again. For some reason his head is strangely low. Someone's sitting between his shoulders. He keeps circling him, and the moment his first foot lifts up, you take a deep step forward and throw a quick chain of punches in his face. The first punch glances off his cheek. and the second one is blocked by his forearm. You step back immediately, but Tenza doesn't pursue. You ease yourself out of your stance and start walking around Tenza with a normal gait. He eases out of his deep stance as well, but his form is still hunched and spread-legged. You take a decent step to his left, sidestep and throw a straight punch at his face, and then throw a hook punch around his guard to strike at his cheek. The hook punch lands and Tenza staggers to the side, dropping his guard. Immediately, you tackle him to the ground, wrapping your arms around his chest and sliding his back to the floor. You hear him let out a gasping breath, then the pain groan. Before he has a chance to strike back, you sit up on your knees so you're strailing his stomach. You start throwing punches at his face as fast as you can, sliding your knuckles into his nose and cheeks. Tenza tries to hold up his hands to protect his face, but your blows just ran the backs of his hands into his face. Yes, I'm doing it. Beat the shit out of him. You feel Tenza's body writhing underneath you as he tries to get you off his stomach, but you manage to keep your balance and continue pounding his face. You remember every petty insult, every time he embarrassed you, and every time he looked at you with that condescending smirk. That was trash. That was an idiot, an imposter, fucking pathetic, poor, stupid. So far above me, above everyone, touchable. You can feel the cold, calm anxiety evaporating. This place you feel white hot rage growing. You can feel your knuckles getting raw, so you switch to swing your fists down like hammers. Tenza's thrashing gets weaker, so you grab a fistful of his hair in one hand and start throwing elbows against his temple. Going to ruin his face. Fuck him up so bad no one ever looks at him again. Sweat and blood make your elbows slick, causing it to glance out Tenza's face. You just throw it harder so it strikes the bone again. After a minute passes, Tenza goes completely limp. You pause and catch your breath. Tenza's face is a rapidly darkening tapestry of bruises and bloody cuts, and both of his eyes are beginning to swell. Looking down at his face, you feel your hatred come to a boil. I hate this face. I hate this fucking face. I don't want to look at it anymore. You unclench your fists and jam your thumbs into Tenza's eye sockets, pressing down with all your strength. He lets out a shriek and begins thrashing again while his hands fly to your arms. He tries to pull you off of him, but he's too weak. You drive your thumbs deeper, watching the pulpy mash of blood and flesh pull around them. This is what you get. This is what you get. Finally, Tenza goes still. You exhale hard and wipe your thumbs on the shirt and take one last look at his ruined face. Then you stand up and look at his friends. They're frozen in shock. You want to be next, you bastards? Come on! I'll take both of you. You start walking toward them, but stop when you hear the floor creak. You turn around just in time to see Tenza's eyeless face. He wraps his arms around your neck and jams his leg against yours, tripping you and sending you tumbling to the floor. You land on your back and Tenza gets down and kneels on your chest. He throws two heavy punches to her face. You feel the wind get knocked out of you and you choke. Your eyes shut as you grasp for air, and you faintly hear him shuffle around you and kneel down. Oh, how did he... You feel Tenza's arm wrap around your neck and squeeze. When you open your eyes, you see Tenza's face upside down. His face is untouched, and his hateful eyes stare down at you. Tenza's arm tightens around your neck, and you feel a spike of fear shoot through you as you realize how strong his grip is. You feel yourself gag and you keep trying to pull his arm off, but your hands are sweaty. You feel waves of heat wash over you, then the animalistic panic of not being able to breathe. You take one gasping breath, but barely any air makes it to your lungs. Take another, but all you feel is the cloying heat of the throat. Are you begging? I don't. Tenza clenches down even harder, bending your neck toward at an angle. Your vision goes black for a second, then comes back. You fucking surrender, pound on the floor. In a small corner of your darkened mind, not dominated by pain and desperation, you feel a thought flash out. No, never. Don't. Pound the floor, you piece of shit! Clench your eyes shut and grit your teeth. Your entire body squirming and writhing, but all you think is no. No, 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 no. Then you feel tend to lean down and whisper in your ear. I'm gonna break your neck. I can snap it. Right now. Clenches even harder and plants his other hand on the back of your skull. I'll break it, I swear to God. Here. One. You start writhing, use the last vestiges of strength to try to break his grip, but your arms are like pieces of string. You feel a tear squeeze out of the corners of your eyes. In your mind, all you can see is a shining bone and tearing muscle. You can feel it. So close. Your arm swings out and pounds against the floor once. Immediately, Tenza's arm releases your throat. You let your head hit the floor, then take 4 gasping breaths. Your eyes shoot open, but all you can see is a dark haze. You feel something catch in your throat, and you barely manage to roll onto your stomach and cough before you choke again. You're vaguely aware that Tenza is standing next to you. All you care about is getting enough air into your lungs. Finally, your vision clears and you can sit up on your knees. You look up at Tenza, but just as you meet his eyes, you're racked by another coughing fit and double over. You put both your palms on the floor and retch, but nothing comes out. Suddenly, you feel something hard impact your stomach. You collapse and roll onto your side, clenching your gut. Something else hits your sternum, and you realize Tenza is kicking you. You hear him grunt and feel his heel rammed against your temple, slamming your head against the floor. Something wet and hot seeps across your scalp, and you smell blood. Told you, you'd beg, you fucking idiot. You can hear Tenza panting above you. You're pathetic. Now you can't fucking deny it anymore. You hear Tenza inhale, then spit. The saliva hits your temple and seeps down your eyebrow. That'll do these. You hear him turn away and mutter to the other 2 guys. Come on, I'm done here. You hear them walk around toward the entrance, open the door, and slam it shut behind them. Through the haze of tears and sweat, you curl up and wrap your arms around your aching body. You feel blood trickling down your scalp and pulling against your face, but worse than the pain are the waves of shame. Your mind is barely able to think straight, so instead you get flashes. You imagine Tenza standing over you, what you look like on the floor, how you sounded choking and flailing as he choked you. All of it adds up to one picture. Scared. Desperate. Weak. Pitiful. You wipe Tenza's spit off of you, put one palm on the floor, but you don't have the strength to get up yet. Your eyes are filled with stinging tears, and you can feel your chest begin to buck from the sobs rising up from your throat. You manage to get on your hands and knees and hold yourself there, your head hanging down. Pain spikes across your body, sometimes sharp, sometimes dull and throbbing. You clutch your stomach and open your mouth to retch again. There's nothing there. Nothing. The next few days pass in a blur. When Monday rolls around, you go to class but don't hear a single word from Master Izon. You're carried along by the momentum of your life, but you're no longer directing it. You don't dare to try to think what will happen. Your momentum slows to nothing. That Friday, you get a knock on your door. This one that hinges on it is loose from being slammed. You look over to it and call to the wood. Who is it?
It's me. Let me in.
What do you want?
I just want to see you.
You sigh and lock the door. You open it, and Lisa walks into your room. She puts her hand on your shoulders and kisses your cheek.
I'm so sorry I couldn't come sooner. Oh God, your forehead.
You shut the door and lean against the wall. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
You should see
someone to fix it? I know.
So what happened? I mean, I heard the rumors.
What are they saying? Bees rolls her eyes and shakes her head.
That, Tenza took everything you could throw at him and knocked you out with one punch. Bullshit like that.
Go on. Lise looks at you uneasily and runs a hand through her hair. She tries to remember the rest.
Oh, someone said he choked you and you had to bang on the floor to show out that you gave up.
Did they say what happened after that?
No, they just said that you gave up and Tenza walked away.
You sighed disgustedly. No, he didn't walk away. He kicked me on the ground. That's what the forehead thing is from. And then he looked down at me and said, "This is for Lise." And then he spat on me. You look at Lise when you see the last sentence. You see her eyes get wide, then drift downwards as she takes in the words.
So he was beating you up just to get to me?
Nah. I think he wanted to beat the shit out of me, too.
That dickless, petty piece of shit. Can't believe Ugh.
Can't believe you what? Ever since the fight, you've been wondering if Tenza had ever gone on a date with Lise, and that's why he said that stuff. You know Lise had talked about the other guy she dated, but you never heard her mention Tenza.
It's nothing. He's just an asshole.
He seemed really bitter about you, which was strange. Called you a whore.
Because he never stopped chasing after me. And he can call me that, but he slept around with half the girls in our class.
Did you sleep with him? Lise draws in a breath and hesitates. She looks up at you without moving her head and shifts her jaw back and forth.
I don't really remember.
What do you mean you don't remember?
I got really drunk a couple of months ago with some people over in my room. Tenza was there and he was really drunk too. I remember trying to kiss me, and after that, I don't really remember. He says we did it, but I don't know.
You stare at Lise for a few seconds, feeling anger and hatred fill up your gut. How can you not know? Every word is forced through your clenched teeth.
I was drunk. I don't know if he's telling the truth or if he just thinks we did. He was obsessed with me.
You said there were other people there. What did they say? Lisa's eyes roll up toward the ceiling.
Listen, let's not talk about this.
What did they say? Did you sleep with them? Lise crosses her arms and raises her shoulders.
Now what does it matter? I didn't pick him, did I? I picked you. Out of all the guys on campus, you're the one I confessed to.
You run one hand down your face and grimace. So you did sleep with him. Ugh.
Don't make disgusted sounds at me, you bastard.
I just can't believe you let him do that.
I was drunk. I could barely tell who it was.
You screw up your face as you were smelling something rotten. God, you're disgusting. You look away, shaking your head, but Lise doesn't say anything. When you turn back to face her, you see her peering at your head with knitted brows. What are you staring at?
Your head.
What, is it bleeding again? Lise steps closer and raises her hand to the side of your head. You feel the tip of her finger touch your skin, near which end it kicked you.
The skin is coming off.
What? You feel her thumb and forefinger close around a piece of forehead skin and pull. The skin separates from your forehead with a slick, wet sound, like a slice of meat being peeled off a table.
I think there's something underneath.
In that moment, you realize what Lise is doing. She's peeling off my face. You feel your body tense as you think of what she'll see underneath. My real face. Your hands fly to your forehead, where Lise has already peeled off half the skin. Don't, just leave it.
There's something else underneath.
You feel her fingers tug on the skin.
This isn't your real face, is it?
You lash out with your left hand, slapping Lise across the face. Get your dirty hands off me, you bitch! She lets go of your skin and holds her cheek in her hands. Her eyes are wide, and she stares silently at you.
Uso, I said some petty, nasty shit in my time, but hearing you say that...
She takes another step back, grabs the door handle, and pulls it. She shakes her head while looking at you, then steps out and slams the door behind her. You hear a crack and see the top hinge on the door nearly detached from the door frame. For next week, you avoid seeing Lise. You slave away at your coursework, project, and your own research. On Monday, someone throws a chunk of ice at your head as you walk back to the dorms. When you pick it up to roll it back, you realize it's frozen as shit. The next day, you wake up to find a shovel and a pile of dirt heaped in front of your door. The monitors make it clean it up before going to class. Then, on Friday, one of the girls in your class drops a piece of rolled canvas on your desk. You unfold it to find a crude drawing of you lying on the ground and crying with saddle on your back. Soon you begin focusing all your attention and energy on your work, training with the same spiteful, single-minded energy you previously reserved for Tenza. The mocking and pranks keep trickling in day after day. And after a while, you barely notice people pointing and even whispering disgusting things. Your world contracts in on itself until you don't speak to anyone, don't look at anyone, and you don't care about anything but the work in front of you. Don't think about the future or about Lise. All that is buried behind the black walls somewhere in your head. You almost dread the day when there's a break in your work. That means you'll have to face what you said. Finally, after almost a week and a half, the day comes. You're sitting alone in your room, and there's nothing left to take up your evening. You could go to bed early, but you know you'd fall asleep thinking about her, going over your conversation again in your head. Then you realize that you dread that more than trying to speak to her again. You trudge toward your dormitory building and head inside, stomping the snow off your boots before you enter. You walk down the hallway to her room, watching the familiar doors pass. Outside your door, your mind kicks into overdrive as anxiety washes over you. How does she see me now? How should I act? What angle should I take when I apologize? What expression should I have when she opens the door? For a second, you see yourself from outside your body, nervous, exhausted, wretched looking. You see your own face shift as you cycle through different expressions, then you're looking through your own eyes again. You knock on Lisa's door. You wait, but you get no answer. You knock again, then peer through the keyhole. She's not in her room. Suddenly straighten up and find another female student leaning out of her doorway, eyeing you suspiciously. Oh, hi. I was, looking for her. Do you know where she is?
Body workshop, I think. She had a big bag with her, and it looked like a corpse, so yeah.
Oh, thanks. You head to the workshop and find it nearly deserted. Two older students are working at a table together, quietly muttering to one another, but near the back you spot Lisa's red mane of hair. You walk closer to her table, a long one made of dark stone. You can see papers and ceramic debris scattered across the surface. Lisa's perched on a stool with her back to you. Quietly walk around the table so you're on the other side. Lisa's face comes into view. She's engrossed in sculpting a single ear out of clay. There's a small knife in her hand that she's using to carve out the curves. Place her palms on the table and clear her throat. Lisa looks up in surprise, as if a spell had been broken. Her expression quickly changes to contempt as she realizes who's standing in front of her. She puts down the ear and the knife and folds her arms.
I'm busy.
I can see that. I'm sorry to interrupt. It's tearing me apart to have let things the way I did. And everything I said was selfish and callous and hateful. And you didn't deserve any of it. I was so wrapped up in feeling sorry and hating myself that all that hate came out. And you were the only person I had to talk to. I'm sorry. I know I said hurtful things. I'm making up to you. And I want to apologize. Reese scoffs quietly and rolls her eyes.
A bouquet of tulips and roses, a box of chocolate, a heartfelt apology, and it's all better, right?
You don't have flowers or chocolate. Lisa peers past you at the two other students. They're about 50 feet away, close enough to overhear you. Lisa lowers her voice.
No, you don't even have that. You just got over your little ass kicking and decided you're done being disgusted with me.
Now I realize I was wrong about...
Yeah, you're sorry.
Lisa stares at you intensely. It's not a hateful look. More like a gaze of a hawk that's cornered a mouse.
I thought you were different, Uzo.
You sigh and close your eyes. I thought I was too. Now I realize I've been being an asshole the entire time. It just didn't show as much.
You got that right.
Leeson folds her arms and sets both hands on the table, then leans closer to you.
You fucked up real bad. Bad enough that I'm reconsidering a lot of things. I'm not playing games, Yuzo.
She stared back at her stoically. I know you're not.
Tell me this. What made you think it was okay to talk to me like that?
You look into Lisa's green eyes with a somber gaze. You've been dreading this part. You remember that Lois thing I showed you? I can read someone's soul based on how they fold the paper. Lise winces.
Let's stay on topic.
I am on topic. I know you don't believe in it, but I do. You want to know what I see when I fold Lotus? You pause and try to paraphrase the passage from the text. Security. Characterized by vanity, disdain for others, and fear of vulnerability. Lise chuckles to herself, but her face loses a fierce edge. That's my problem. I can't stand myself, so I look for something else to prove I'm worth something. And the wind tends to beat me. I had to face all the parts of me I didn't like, and that scared me. And I took it all out on you. Lise fidgets with her fingers for a while, then sucks in her lips.
You certainly did. I haven't cried like that in a while.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah?
Lise raises her eyes to meet yours.
You said you'd make it up to me, right? During your little speech.
Yeah, I did. Do you want the flowers and the box of chocolate after all? You manage a small smile, and see Lisa press one of her own.
Shut up. You're not forgiven yet. Not entirely.
Alright. You lean your hip against the table and put on a stern expression. You could chop my arm off and make me run across campus naked again.
Good ideas, but I was thinking something more. I don't know. Subtle.
You watch Elisa's face and see the joy in figuring out your punishment fade, leaving behind a melancholy look.
I don't want this to be one of those things where we keep having to fight and wake up. Fight and make up. I've had enough of those. It's not going to be a game like that. Before, this would have been my favorite part. The part where I know I'm in the right and you've admitted you're wrong. It's all so petty. I care about you, Izo. Do you really care about me?
Of course I do. And I'm sorry I said everything that I did. I just felt like I was at rock bottom. So I might as well ruin everything. But I don't want to ruin this. It'll never happen again.
Can't promise that. No one can. But okay, if you'll try. I'll talk to you in class later. I'll have something figured out for you to demonstrate the depth of contrition. Now I have to get this finished. Okay?
Okay. See you in class. Lise flashes a perfunctory smile, and you smile back. You walk away from her table and toward the exit, but you feel a creeping sadness come over you. You've seen Lise put on smiles for other people, but seeing her do it for you, it hurts. When the weekend comes, you find yourself swamped with work. A lot of it is advanced anatomy, mostly studying the functions and behaviors of organs. You manage to get a hand on the intestines and the stomach, but the heart, lungs, and kidneys end up being a lot more complicated, both anatomically and in terms of metaphysics. So much that could go wrong. And the books even say that experienced physiomancers shouldn't interfere with the workings of their heart or lungs unless they're highly experienced. Finally, around 8 o'clock, you finish studying and lean back in your chair. All the information is buzzing around your skull, but you've learned it's best to take your mind off it all to let it sink. You look at the clock and out the window at the dark campus. It's been a couple of days. Maybe Elise has come up with my punishment already. You hear a faint, familiar voice from the hallway, then a knock on your door. You furrow your brows and get up. You open your door to find Lise wrapped up in her winter coat.
Hi.
Whoa, I was just thinking about you.
Yeah? Well, good. Put on your coat and boots, cause you're coming with me.
Where are we going?
My place. I tried to send you an origami message, but it looks like it didn't make it.
You start putting on your coat and watch Lise lean against her door frame. She looks around your room disinterestedly, then down at your floor.
I think I said this before, but you gotta get some decoration too, though. It's depressing in here.
You struggle to put on your boots and chuckle to yourself. Didn't you say I should get a portrait of you?
Yeah, but you have to commission those, and I hate sitting for them.
You walk out of your dorm, Lise trudging along next to you, and make your way to her room. As soon as Lise unlocks her door and steps inside, she sighs heavily and starts taking off her earmuffs and gloves.
What a week. How are you managing stuff for advanced anatomy?
Barely. I just finished going over everything for the next week.
Yeah, this is where the men are separate from the boys. I hate slogging through the stuff the first time round.
Lise shuts her door and locks it, then takes off her coat and hangs it on the hook on the back of the door.
An upperclassman friend of mine said the worst is yet to come, though. She went through this course last year, and she says the exams are brutal.
That's not what I want to hear.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it either. I know my stuff, but I want to keep my exam scores high, so I can get one of those cushy fellowships, like you. So, I've been working on a little something to help with that. Don't tell anyone.
You sit down at her desk chair and rest your elbow on her table. I have a feeling this is going to involve a lot of studying. Lise sits down on her bed and stretches her arms.
Nope, I'm gonna cheat.
Of course.
That's actually pretty ingenious, if I so say myself. A bunch of upperclassmen have already gotten subdermal tattoos that act as spell maps. So I thought, why not tattoo all my notes onto my skin?
Because they'll be obvious?
That's where the clever part comes in.
Lise reaches over to her nightstand and picks up a large bottle of ink.
Heat ink. It only appears when he hits a certain temperature. You can adjust it when it shows up by adding extra water. You just tattoo your notes on your skin, then rub your skin to heat it up so it's above your normal body temperature, and voila! It appears. And then it fades out, so no one else can see it. I've already told 2 people I tattooed them with it, and they're paying me big bucks.
I see.
You wanna do it? I won't charge you, well, not a money anyway.
You think about it. On the one hand, you do not want to get caught cheating. Not only would it endanger your fellowship, it'd endanger your enrollment if it's on. But then again, you've already done a lot of things that could get you kicked out of the academy, and none of those have caught up to you. And you really don't want to fail your advanced anatomy course. Oh, fine, okay. What's your price?
We can discuss all that in a little bit. First off, we need to talk about your act of contrition.
Ah, right.
After thinking long and hard about it, and considering I've already invested quite a bit of money into tattoo needles, I'm gonna give you a tattoo.
Take a deep breath and close your eyes. Back in Senkaku, there's a whole genre of tattoos reserved for people who piss off a crime family or didn't pay up on the gambling debts. They'd hold you down and put the tattoo somewhere you couldn't hide it, like your face or your hand. Most of them were disgusting. I doubt Lisa would go that far, but... What did you have in mind for the, tattoo?
Well, that's a difficult one. I was thinking either a rose for romance or a tulip for forgiveness.
You breathe a sigh of relief. You'd have expected Lisa to tattoo jackass on your arm or something. A rose or a tulip, huh?
Tulip.
Tulip. Gotta do forgiveness. Let's do a tulip so I never make the same mistake again.
I don't think I can make this tulip big enough to keep you from being an asshole ever again. But we'll see.
So, how do you want to do this? Should I lie on the floor or your bed? Oh wait, where are you gonna tattoo it on me?
On your chest. Probably your left pectoral.
What about my back or my hip or something like that?
It's gotta be somewhere you look at every day, and besides, I want to put it right over your heart, so everyone knows you belong to me.
Okay.
Why? You worried about something?
Nah, just... In the future, I'm gonna have to write spell maps on my chest, you know, for visimancy, and a tattoo's gonna make that hard if you do it on my chest.
You don't have to draw around it, then. Sorry, not sorry. Let's get you into bed next to me. Take that shirt off.
You sigh and sit down on the bed next to her and start unbuttoning your shirt. Lise takes out a silver box and opens it, revealing your tattooing tools. Needles of various sizes and points sit neatly in velvet recesses. The graceful, tapered cylinder sits on the right side, similar to the body of a fountain pen. You watch Lise fill a small reservoir at the top, then fit a needle in the bottom. And this is where I will stop for today. But if you enjoyed this video, leave a comment on what you thought of this episode, and maybe if your opinion changed on the girl so far, or Uzo, or Tenta. Tenta's a bitch. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please check the playlist down for more, and if you want to watch other visual novels, please check my channel down below. Thank you, and take care.